Now, I don't think this is going to be applicable to every single person watching this video, but I definitely think this is something I should talk about and share. And even if you kind of already know what you want to do and have things planned out, this is something that you should hear and kind of just think about in the back of your mind. Because the first thing that I do want to say is that when we pick out what our career is, when we pick out what we're going to do for the rest of our lives, we are so young. A lot of the schools, I don't know how it is in every country, but I know in the UK and the US, they make you really decide what it is that you're going to do with your life when you're 17, 18 years old. And to me, I think that's absolutely crazy because there's no way that you should or will know what you want to do for the rest of your life at that point. If I was the same person I was at 18, I would not be where I am today. I would have a ton of bad habits. I wouldn't have as solid friendships as I do right now. A lot of things would be different. I think that goes without saying. But to have basically the one of the biggest parts of your life be decided at that age is really scary. And I wish I had known how important that would be in the grand scheme of things when I was going into it. I never really knew for a fact what I wanted to do. I kind of knew what realm I wanted to be in, but I never really, sat down and thought about exactly what I want to pursue. And that's something that came to me over time and something I'm low key still trying to figure out. Like, I do have a better idea than I did back then, but to say that I have everything figured out even now at the tail end of my college career is, I can't even say that for a fact because I'm still thinking of other ways to go back and increase my education and other ways I can develop skills and things of that nature. And let's just get to the point. The reason you clicked on this video, the number one thing I would advise everybody to do, not everybody to do, but if you feel similar, if you're unsure of what you want to do, if you don't really know if even college is for you to begin with, the number one thing I would advise everybody to do is to take a gap year. Now, a lot of you probably watching this kind of get scared, you kind of just like bottle up when you hear the term gap year because it means you're not going to be going to school. You're going to be kind of quote unquote doing nothing with your life. At least that's what a lot of people may pressure you into thinking or may make you believe based on, the people around you, the people you're comparing yourself to, your classmates, your friends, all going to college or all have something figured out. And, taking a gap year seems like, you know, a bummy thing to do. Let's keep it real. Even though I'll explain why I don't think that's even close to the case. But the optics can seem like that, which can be very scary. But let me explain to you why I think it might be the most important. So when the pandemic happened, not that same semester, but the semester afterwards, I wasn't really able to, or the 2 semesters afterwards, I wasn't able to take all the classes I wanted to because, everything was online. Things were getting filled up fast. Like there was so much going on in my just personal life and, family and things like that. It was just hard. And because of that, I was able, I still took 1 or 2 classes, but I had way more free time to myself. Uh, Things to do, time to do other things that I was interested in, kind of figure myself out. And that time was one of the biggest growing periods of my life. I was able to not only build myself as a person, build good habits, traits, characteristics, etc., etc., but I was also able to kind of just figure out a little better what I want to do in life. Even though I still don't know exactly where I'm headed and where this road will take me, I was able to kind of pinpoint certain things I like, certain traits I have, certain skills I'm good at or want to get better at, things that I really enjoy doing, just kind of really getting closer to my true purpose. And I think that's kind of the whole purpose of a gap year. And I'll get into a little more what you should do in that gap year in a little further down the video. But another thing I do want to say is that you're just so overwhelmed with all this stuff going on in your life when you're in school, especially if you're living on campus. You're always, around friends, people. If you're in a high prestigious, like an Ivy League school, you're the competition there is above everything else, like the amount of work you have to do, especially, you know, nowadays you got to study for, they could be very overwhelming. You could have a job on top of all that, trying to balance your social life, you're getting your health. It's a lot. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's easy to do all those things, but when you take a gap year, when you just take time to really just figure out what it is that you want and just focus on yourself, I think it can be really, really helpful in the future. And if you really don't have any clue on what you want to do, this has to be one of the things you're considering. So, okay, you decide to take a gap year. I'm going to take this time to figure out what I want to do, how I'm going to move forward in my life, get some mental clarity, you know, just basically put myself in the best position possible, put myself in the best place so that when I do go and end up going to university, I could, you know, be ready, locked in, ready to go, know what I need to do to achieve my goals. Or maybe you're not even going to go at all. Maybe you realize that you don't need to develop the things that you want to do. You don't need to go to university for, which is completely fine as well. So you decided all those things. Now, what do you do? How do you get to that point of mental clarity where you really understand yourself and know what you want to do? So the first thing I recommend everybody do, and this goes for anything actually, even if you're not going to take a gap year, I just recommend anybody who's trying to figure out what they want to do in life does this, and that's to get your health in check. You want to make sure you're eating healthy, working out, getting sunlight at least for 10 minutes once every day, because you know, if you eat crappy, if you know, are lazy, if you put bad stuff in your body, you don't go outside, you're just going to feel terrible. You're going to have all this mental fog, and it's just going to make things a lot more harder. And I think, you know, you don't have to be some sort of bodybuilder. You don't have to go in the gym 6 times a week. You don't have to do all that, but just find something that can help you stay healthy, you know, help you feel better with your body, about yourself, and just overall give you the sense of vitality. Because I think people don't really associate, you know, your physical health with your mental health, but I think it's actually linked more than a lot of people may know. I know your gut health is literally scientifically linked to your mental health. So I know that just your overall physical health is for sure linked to your mental health. So I would recommend, before you do anything, before you even start to figure out how you're going to move forward, you get your health in check, because without that, it's going to be hard to really even get a sense of what it is that you truly want to do. The second thing I would recommend is learning. Now, this might sound a little crazy, like I'm gonna learn, but I'm gonna avoid going to university. How does that make sense? You have to discover what it is that you want to learn. You have to use your time in order to just learn about the things that interest you and that you find interesting. Sometimes you may have to push yourself because you may not want to do it. You may just want to chill, you know, whatever, play video. You have to use this time wisely and actually put it to use. Learn about some things, some skills that you actually want to have, that you actually enjoy, and just kind of experiment with a bunch of different things so you could kind of get a sense of the type of things that you really like and don't like. You know, you can't just be, you know, doing nothing and expecting to figure stuff out. You have to actually be putting in effort and still putting in some type of work. So learning on your own is a great way, not only just to boost yourself, your mental, your overall well-being, but it's going to help you figure out what it is that you like, and you can kind of isolate those particular things that you like about a certain thing, and see what fits into your field of choice. Now, the third thing I would recommend everybody do, and this can be tricky because this can kind of be a waste of time if you don't choose wisely, and that's to get a job. Now, I don't recommend everybody do this, because sometimes if you're not doing anything on that job that is really mentally stimulating, or just helping you kind of figure out what it is that you want to do, or maybe don't want to do even, but if you're just kind of doing busy work and it's kind of, you know, not really helping you point into any direction, it might not be the best thing. You want to make sure you're doing a job that you either want to, potentially want to go into, or something that you've been considering. Don't do a retail job just to get money. I mean, maybe if you have to, you need to build discipline. You need to, you know, build up some cash for yourself. Yeah, fine. If you just need to have a job, you can go ahead and do that. But if you do have the option, if you're not in some kind of financial crisis, try to get a job that is somewhat related to something you might want to do or are interested in, and just see if that what you can learn from that, even if it doesn't, result in you figuring out what you want to do, because you'll pick up skills and pick up knowledge that you wouldn't have found anywhere else. And you can at least know that this is something you do or don't want to do or pursue further, or just kind of have a sense of what are some of the things that you like about the job that you want in your future career. What are some things that you don't like about the job that you don't want in your future career? And you kind of just get a sense of, if I had to, do this for the rest of my life, what parts of it do I like? What parts of it do I not like? And then that can also help you kind of choose what you want to do. And the last thing I would recommend for everybody, and this is something that I haven't done too much, but I have been starting to do it recently, and I've been finding a lot of value in it, and that's to travel. Now, a lot of people hear the word travel and, get a little, I don't want to say scared, but they realize it's a big commitment. It requires money. But you don't have to do all that. You don't have to visit a foreign country. You don't have to stay in 5-star hotels. You don't have to go, to a beautiful beach every single night you're out. What I mean by travel is just get out there and go to different places that you've never been to, even if it's around your city. If you're somebody that doesn't go to the beach that much, maybe the last time you went to the beach was you were 8 years old. Go out, go to the beach. Go out and go to a restaurant you've never been to. Just put yourself in situations where you're going to interact with different types of people, because you never know who you're going to meet, and you never really know what opportunities they can present you, even if it's not directly. Even if somebody's not straight up telling you, hey, come work for my company, or, you want to start this business, whatever, they can help kind of guide you in a direction indirectly. And what I mean by that is, maybe you hear about what they do. Maybe you hear about their lives, their interests, their hobbies, and you say, that's interesting. You start trying that stuff out. Maybe you fall in love with it. Some other things you could take from them, other nuggets of knowledge, pieces of information, learning from mistakes that they made so you don't have to make those same mistakes. Just going out and being different places, just seeing how other people are. Because if you're kind of just in your small little bubble, especially I know with COVID and the pandemic, it's hard to just go out as much now. We're doing a lot of stuff through screens, but just try to. I like recording outside because it just gives me a sense of peace and calmness, and I could feel like I'm talking with a bit more mental clarity than when I'm inside in front of my computer screen. But the only bad thing about it is my camera overheats way too much, especially when you live in Los Angeles and it's over 70 degrees every single day. So I'm gonna have to cut this video off, but I think I got across every single point that I wanted to mention. And I'm gonna kind of just wrap it up by saying, make sure you find yourself and find out the type of person you are. Really identify what values you value the most, and really live by those. Write down 3 to 8 values, traits, characteristics that you feel that you want to embody, and every day make sure you take steps to be that person. Identify with those traits and characteristics, okay? And by doing some of the things I mentioned can help you find what those truly are to you. There are tons. There are over 20, 30, I don't know how many traits, characteristics that you can value and live your life by. So don't feel bad if you don't have something that someone else has. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own positive sides and things that they do better than others. You just have to find out what yours are. I hope I helped you guys with this video. I hope it gave you guys some sort of resolve, direction, and anything that could help benefit what you guys are doing with your future. All right. If you did enjoy the video, drop me a like, drop a sub, Share this with somebody that may need it. But I love y'all. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bow.